In this video, you're going to learn how to use the count function in Excel to count the number of cells that contain numbers. We'll also take a look and see whether the function will count things like letters, dates, and error messages. And if you'd like to grab a copy of the spreadsheet that I use in this video, just click on the link in the description below. Okay, over here in Excel, I've set up a little exercise where we have different sets of values in each column. So for example, in column A, we've got 5 numbers, while in column C, we've got 5 letters, and in column G, we've got 4 numbers with 1 blank cell. And what we're going to do is we're going to see how many values of each data set will be counted by the count function. Okay, so let's start off by evaluating the data set in column A. So to do that, we'll just go to cell A7 and type in equals count and then open brackets to start our count function. And all we need to do now is just choose the values to evaluate. So that's going to be these 5 cells here from cell A2 to A6. So I've just dragged the mouse over there. And then all I need to do is close the brackets and press enter to complete the function. Okay, so as we can see, we've got a result of 5. And if I just click back on here, we can have a look and see that the count function is looking at those 5 cells and counting how many numbers there are in those cells. And because we've got the result of 5, it's saying that there's 5 numbers in those cells, and there's no values of any other kind, such as letters or special characters. Okay, so let's drag this across now to the next column, and we'll just click on the formula bar just so we can take a look and make sure it's evaluating the right cells here. So we're looking at cells B2 to B6, and if I escape out of there again, we can see now that we have a result of 4. So it's saying that there's 4 numbers in there, and that means that it's not counting the number 1 in cell B2 that's in quotes. So if you have a number in quotes, the count function won't regard it as a number. It will regard it as something else, and it won't be counted. Okay, let's drag this across again. And here you can see we've actually got 5 letters or 5 bits of text. And if we escape back out of there, we can see we've got a result of 0. So this is telling us that there's no numbers in that data set. Okay, so if you have any text in your cells, they won't be counted by the count function as a value. All right, let's have a look at the next one now, and you can see that we've got 1 bit of text or 1 letter there in cell D2, and the rest of them are numbers in this range here. And the count function is saying that there's 4 numbers, and that's right. So we've got the numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it's not counting the letter A as a value. Moving across to the next data set, and we can see that in cell E2, we've actually got a combination of A and 1, and the rest of the data there, they're all numbers, and the count function has given us a result of 4, so it's not counting A1 as a number, it's regarding it as something other than a number, and it's actually text because there is the letter A in there. Okay, so if you've got a mixture of numbers and letters in a cell, it won't be counted by the count function. In the next data set, we've got a special character there, the asterisk in cell F2, and we'll just make sure we're evaluating the right data set there by clicking on the formula bar. And once again, we're getting the result of 4, so it's not counting the special character as a number. And that goes for any special characters, not just the asterisk, so a question mark, quotation mark, etc. It won't be counted by the count function. Okay, moving across to the next data set. And in here, you can see we've actually got a blank cell in G4. And once again, we get a result of 4. So it's counting 1, 2, 4, and 5 as numbers, and it's regarding the blank cell as not being a number. So the count function will ignore blank cells. Moving across to the next data set, and here we've got a couple of dates. So we've got 2 dates, and then we've just got 3 normal numbers in there. And we can see that we get a result of 5. So it is actually counting the dates as numbers. And then finally, moving across to the last data set, we've got an error message there in I2. So that's a div0 error message. And then we've got 4 numbers in there. And we can see that we get a result of 4. So it's not counting the error message as a number. And that goes for any of Excel's error messages, such as NA, for example. They won't be counted by the count function. Okay, so now you know how to use the count function and you know what it does include and what it excludes. It's really there just to count the number of cells that contain a number. If you do want an Excel function that counts cells that have any value, you need to use the COUNTA function. So check out the link in the description below to our video on COUNTA.